Hello everyone, welcome back to Just Invest Today. In today's video, we're talking about the Chinese stock market because if you're living under a rock, we already know that the Chinese stock market is in a huge bear market for the last 2-3 years because ever since the pandemic and ever since the Chinese regulations and the USA and the geopolitical risk when it comes to both of these countries, it's causing severe fear. And Morgan Stanley just came out and just said to avoid China. We're seeing this in the stock prices of a lot of companies that we own, like Alibaba, JD.com, like Tencent. They just keep going down. But is this the greatest financial opportunity for us? Because we've seen during the whole pandemic, the whole rebound, everything fell 30% and then the great recovery. Can we see the same thing for the Chinese stock market? I'm betting huge in the Chinese stock market. I'm seeing a huge recovery in the next 3 to 5 years. I don't know exactly when it's going to happen, but man, I am super bullish. I don't care about the risk of China and blah, blah, blah and war. I'm still betting heavily in this market. So let's go through what is happening in the Chinese market right now. Before we get into all these Chinese negative articles, I have to talk about my favorite investor, or one of my favorite investors, John Templeton. He has amazing quotes, and one of his amazing quotes talks about investing when there's maximum pessimism in the market. And this is exactly what we're seeing in the Asian markets. John Templeton actually made the similar kind of bet in 1997 when the Asian market was going through a financial crisis during that time. A lot of the same companies went to cheap multiples, getting very low, great businesses, and eventually recovered in the next 2 to 3 years. So I'm honestly making that same bet that John Templeton made, even though you can't compare because they're different times, but I'm still seeing the same opportunities. And I feel like these companies are actually right now are actually better than what they were back in 1997. So Morgan Stanley came out with this article warning everyone against buying the Asian dip with these Chinese stocks. And this is what we're seeing again and again. Do you remember the exact same rhetoric was talking about don't invest in China, China is uninvestable? This is the same thing happening again. The sentiment is likely to remain fragile, and this is all about sentiment and kind of the geopolitical risk that everyone's seeing, and everyone is predicting the war, and hedge funds, everyone is leaving China. Like there's a record amount of people like selling out of Chinese stocks like these never been seen before. And this is what's causing this huge Asian market sell-off or China market sell-off, which is crazy. The report noted that foreign investors' outflow from the so-called A share market has entered an unprecedented stage, further informing that the cumulative outflow of $22 billion from August 7th to October 19th is the largest in Stock Connect history. One must note that the Stock Connect refers to trading links between China and Hong Kong. Global funds have been dumping Chinese shares amid rising geopolitical tensions, economic headwinds, and an ongoing housing crisis. And this is the biggest fear that people have. But you guys don't understand that this is kind of an unrealistic fear because the slowdown is saying that the growth in the GDP of China is only 5% compared to like a 6 or 7%. Like what? That is faster than most countries at the size of China, which is insane. Look at this. China's Q3 GDP growth shows economic recovery gaining traction. So GDP growth is at 4.9% year over year. So this is the stuff that they're worried about. Even if it was at 2 or 3%, that would still be good for what's happening in the Chinese economy. We see the housing crash and people are worried about that. But guys, that's all temporary. How long do you think that's going to last? 10 years, 15 years? China is still predicted to be one of the biggest economies in the next 20, 40 years. So we can still see a lot of growth for China. And half of the population hasn't even reached the middle class. So what happens when the next like 20, 30 years, a lot of people reach the middle class and people have a lot of money to spend? And that's what people don't understand. And that's what everyone's worried about. Everyone's worried about the next 1 year, 2 year, but I'm seeing way further than that. Morgan Stanley advised investors need to watch for a fundamental improvement in China's macro economy and government stimulus measures to restore investor confidence. And this is the problem. This is the issue because you're going to sit back, you're going to wait for the macroeconomic times to get better in China. Guys, stocks will recover by the time you have this peripheral vision of seeing the future of the Chinese stock market recovery. Like, it doesn't work like that. You're supposed to invest when there's max pessimism, when everyone's trying to sell out of the companies or stocks. That's when you got to invest. You don't invest when everything's cozy, when everything's great, because stocks are going to recover by the time that you realize that the market is back and is back where it needs to be. China's stock market drops to the lowest since 2019. The CSI 300 index. And this is what I'm talking about. People think that no growth has been seen in the Chinese market. We're seeing a China market recovery. We're seeing Alibaba show growth rates. We're seeing Tencent. We're seeing JD.com show growth rates, but everything is just going down. No one cares. Companies are at like one of the lowest multiples right now. Look what Brian posted. PE ratios of leading USNC and tech firms. Are you kidding me? Amazon 99, 29, 34, 36, 43, averages 48x multiples. Baba 17, Tencent 12, PDD 26, Baidu 17, JD.com 13, average is 17x, man. So way more than double of what it's at right now. And I see this recovering. If you don't see this recovering, I guess you avoid China and just don't invest in the market at these prices. But man, I feel like this bet is gonna give me financial freedom or like double, triple my money in the next 5 years. This is the bet I'm making for China and its recovery. And I'm super bullish. I've been buying JD at these all-time lows, man. You're not going to see these companies trading at like half of the cash that they have on the balance sheet. Like, it's insane how cheap these companies are. Like, it's incredible. But guys, these are just my words. I'm seeing great success in the future for China, financial freedom. You're going to be able to double, triple your money very easy in this market, in my opinion, guys. Like this video and subscribe to my channel. Peace.